What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and this is going to be my review of the Legendary Hero Remix banner that features Gunnthra and Legendary Ryoma, who have got some new stuff. And I'm also going to be talking about the other units present on the banner, and I'll be rating them based on their skill fodder as well as their performance. And I'll also go over the build options that you could run on them. So if you do end up enjoying this video, I would really appreciate if you could chilling seal that like and subscribe button like Gunnthra. And with that said, let us begin. So based on the rerun schedule which FEH has given to us in the announcement board, we can pretty much make an educated guess about who are going to be the next legendary units to get a remix. In July, we are going to be seeing Legendary Grima and Legendary Lyn get a rerun, so we are likely going to be seeing their remix at that time. And in September, we're going to be seeing Legendary Ephraim as well as Legendary Hector. With that info out of the way, let us move on to the banner. So the first unit I want to talk about is Gunnthra. Her Blizzard Tome is basically a broadleaf weapon, so she can get more attack based on the debuffs present on the enemy, and she also gets attack resistance solo 4 on her slot A, which is really good from the remix because she came with Fortress Resistance before and that was not good at all, and you had to replace it with something like Fury. So attack rest solo is definitely pretty good, just capitalizing on her attack and resistance. And Chilling Seal 2 is the remix skill that she has got, and this skill is much better now, and it makes Gunnthra a really good unit and even self-sufficient in many ways because she can get these debuffs, and she can also function as a support unit because of Chilling Seal 2. So start of turn, it will inflict -7 debuff to all stats of an opponent who has got the lowest defense on the enemy team. And it also inflicts -7 attack and resistance debuff on foes who are within 2 spaces of the foe who has got the lowest defense. So take an example of a very low defense dancer like Peony. So for example, if she's in middle of a team and if Gunnthra hits her with Chilling Seal 2, then the allies within 2 spaces of her are also going to be facing the debuff of -7 attack and resistance, which is really good. And resistance debuff is especially really good with her weapon. So this ends up being a pretty good skill, and I've actually used Gunnthra quite a lot in Aether raids last week when she did get a remix, and I was pretty much using her as a hit and run cavalier, and my experience with her was pretty good. Honestly, I would say that she's definitely a much better unit, and the broadleaf fan effect from Blizzard Tome is always going to be useful with debuffs that you could get, but still I would suggest running someone like Tethys with Tamari Dagger so that you can get even more consistent debuffs with Chilling Seal 2, and that can just help Gunnthra a lot with her damage output. She can definitely pack a punch, and she's a cavalry unit with really good movement and also support the allies with Chilling Seal 2, which is really good. So that's why I have rated her as such, and my experience with her has been really good after the remix, and she has been able to deal with a lot of the meta threats. I've even tried this out against +10 Farsafe Edelgard, and she honestly packs a lot of punch even to just get through a lot of those threats. But unfortunately, she's still gonna get dunked on by Brave Hector because Maltad's Weapon Refine is gonna be neutralizing the debuffs, and Gunnthra, despite being the green unit, she can only take out a lot of the highly invested Brave Hectors despite the number of debuffs that she gets on him. And there's no scope of running Lancebreaker, so unfortunately Gunnthra is going to be facing that trouble. She's also a Wind Legendary Hero, and Green Dual Cavalry 4 is probably going to be happening at some point because we have seen Red Dual Cavalry. So whenever that happens, she can actually function as a pretty decent arena unit because the debuffs are going to be extremely useful, as the arena units do tend to stick together using the rally skills and stuff like that. And the fact that she's got a 300 SP slot B skill means that she'll be able to score even better when you combine a dual skill and a 300 SP slot C skill like Joint Drive Attack. So she'll be pretty much able to score as a 180 BST Wind Legendary unit who has got the cavalry movement, she's ranged, and she's got a broadleaf fan weapon and also can provide the debuffs. So she can definitely be pretty decent in arena when that happens. And her fodder has also improved a bit. Previously she was just not useful at all, but at least now you have attack rest solo 4, which you could fodder her off for. Her default slot A skill, attack rest solo, does work out fine, and you can even run Fury 3 or attack speed solo if you want to. The speed options can definitely work at the higher investments because she can get decently fast. Attack speed catch actually has pretty good synergy with her debuffing, so that works out at premium investment, especially if you did have a Farina. And again, Green Dual Cavalry 4 is definitely something you should look forward to if you have a highly invested Gunnthra, so that can help you. Green Pool also has Annette, and she does have pretty decent fodder. She's also a pretty good unit herself, and the fact that she can boost the movement of an ally using her rally skill and crusher is extremely good and is a super unique option that you could use to support a lot of your allies. So that could be useful, but we do have Legendary Seaguard now, who just has to trigger his special, and even the range cavalry units can get an extra movement. So that is also unique, which Annette cannot really do for her range cavalry allies. But still, overall, she's a pretty decent unit, and her fodder is also pretty good with a ruse skill and a double rally skill that you can mostly use her to fodder. Legendary Ryoma has got completely from a 0 to a hero in a single update. So Rajinto did get a weapon refine, which is really amazing, and also now he has got remix, giving him Bushido 2 and attack speed Rein. So Bushido 2 is an extremely good skill, giving him IO shield, the unconditional +7 true damage, and also speed based damage reduction. Having all of these effects in a B skill is extremely good, especially the IO shield effect, and the speed based damage reduction is something which flying units do not have access to. Attack speed Rein also works out pretty well for him because he'll take less damage thanks to the attack debuff, and having a speedy unit with a damage reduction like that, speed Rein does help him quite a bit. So this does improve the fodder of Ryoma, because previously he just had Kestrel Stance and Guidance, and Kestrel Stance is not present on any other unit right now, but I believe that is going to be available on a Grail unit hopefully. So attack speed Rein is definitely the best skill that you could fodder him off for, and it's honestly a pretty good skill because it can be used on the flying units, and it's a very consistent skill that can also help your allies. Not to mention, a lot of the flyers only have the access to Heavy Blade as their special acceleration, so in that case meeting the attack checks does become a bit easier with attack speed Rein, and it's definitely a really good Rein skill that many flyers can utilize. As for a unit himself, I have covered this in my full weapon refine review that I did for him when he got the Rajinto weapon refine, so make sure to check that out. The link to it is going to be in the description. And overall, he's pretty much become one of the best units in the entire game because he's got null follow-up with his Rajinto weapon refine, he's got speed-based damage reduction, and just a lot of the effects which flyer units cannot have, and he has got the flyer mobility, which is of course going to be extremely useful. He can actually be a really good water legendary unit despite the existence of Legendary Chrom and Legendary Dimitri, and that goes to say something because it's not really easy for a red unit to do that in the water season, but just because of the fact that he has got so many effects does make him much more viable, and does make it a lot better for him in arena with his viability. Not to mention he can also work out in Aether raid, so that's also good. Even at low investment, Ryoma can definitely function as a unit because of his extremely good effects that he has got going. But if you're thinking of using him in arena, then going with the max merges or even high merges is going to be helping you with the scoring. Female Byleth is also going to be present on this banner, and she does have Creator's Sword, which is basically an anti-cheating weapon, so it just disables a lot of the cheating effects and makes you play like a 2017 unit, which I can definitely appreciate as we see more and more crazy units in the game. And that also allows her to use Windsweep in her slot B because Creator's Sword does have null follow-up built into it. So that is really good, and she can also function as a very good Galeforce unit because she also has Null Guard in her weapon. So that allows her to get Galeforce even if the opponent has got guard. So that is extremely good, and she does have a 4-turn Galeforce with Creator's Sword. Not to mention she does have pretty good fodder in Ruptured Sky and Fury 4. And as we'll see more Fallen Edelguards and stuff like that, Ruptured Sky can definitely help you quite a lot there, in arena especially. And it's a low turn special which does score high in arena, so it's extremely valuable for arena usage. And Fury 4 is pretty much a nice tier 4 slotty skill. It's not really as good as many of the tier 4 skills honestly, but still the recall damage can be pretty useful for many kinds of strategies, and especially someone like Ninja Lin does appreciate this combo of Fury 4 and Ruptured Sky at the same time. So the fact that you can just get female Byleth with a spark for your Ninja Lin is really good, and she can also function as a pretty good unit thanks to her Creator's Sword. In the blue pool we have got Tsubasa, and Tsubasa is a pretty decent lance flyer because she does have Mirage Feather, giving her the dual effectiveness against armor units and cavalry units, and also gives her extra attack and speed, which is extremely easy to get with a conditional desperation. So this frees up her slot B skill to run some other skills, and that makes it quite flexible for her to run some other skills while also enjoying the desperation in her weapon, and the effective damage can especially be really helpful in something like Arena Assault. The thing is that she doesn't have -1 special cooldown on her weapon, so she cannot really have a 4-turn Galeforce like Jill. Jill does have a conditional desperation as well, similar to Tsubasa, but Tsubasa does have that effectiveness which can definitely help you in the times when we have insanely strong units like Legendary Seaguard, so that does help you. As for her fodder, she doesn't really have anything too good. Blade Session is the only thing, but honestly, it's only useful mainly for like Galeforce strategies and Aether raids, and I've mostly seen it on Veluria when she's the last unit or one of the last units to move in a Galeforce team. But other than that, there are just so many better offensive skills that you could run compared to Blade Session. Blue Pool also features Legendary Ephraim, who's going to be getting a remix in September, and until then, he's just getting dunked on by Ducel constantly because Ducel does have the auto follow up, and he's also really optimized to function in both phases. Legendary Ephraim on the other hand has got low resistance, and Flame Siegmund does give him the guaranteed follow up, and he can be a Galeforce unit, but so can be so many other Lance Cavaliers. Ingrid is also a really good offensive option for that, and if you want to go with the bulky option, then there's Ducel. Solar Brace is also a skill which Nifl needs a lot of boost and upgrade because it's not really that impressive, especially on a Galeforce Ephraim, which is how you'll see most of the time. So I hope that he can get a pretty good remix and also get some good skills to fodder because he has got absolutely nothing for fodder. So before you merge him or kill him, just wait for the remix because who knows, he might get some really good skill. Finally, in the colorless pool, we have got Legendary Grima, who is going to be getting a remix in July most likely, and it's definitely much needed on her because she is quite lacking with her bulk, her attack, just pretty much everything. So having some buff to Dragon Skin is going to be helping her a lot, and I suspect that she might get a better slot B skill, maybe in something like Dragon's Ire. She cannot really get guard bearing because dragons cannot have access to guard bearing, so that's not an option. But she might also get a Rein skill like attack res Rein or even attack speed Rein. I could see that happening. So if you have a lot of Legendary Grimas lying around in your barracks, definitely just wait for the remix before you fodder them or merge them up because she might get some rare skill. Halloween Grima is just sitting right there if they want to have any kind of inspiration for the buffs of Legendary Grima, and many people do suspect that they might just give her the stuff that Halloween Grima has got, so that could also be an option, but I feel like she might get something a bit different than just Halloween Grima. I feel like many people do have her decently merged because she did appear quite a lot in the Legendary banners back in the days, and even now in the remix banners she is present in the colorless pool, so that does help. The final unit on this banner is going to be Julian. Unfortunately, he has got a lot of competition because he doesn't have a preferred weapon and he's a 5-star lock dagger unit. But mainly seeing his attack stat, the best weapon is going to be Broadly Fan. He can also work with some other daggers, but he's mainly going to be extremely useful as a fodder, providing you with close foil and little attack speed at the same time. So that is my review of the Legendary Hero Remix banner. This banner does have the spark system like all of the other remix banners, and only summon for it if you really want to get a unit from it who you are building up. Like if you're merging up your Ryoma or maybe Gunnthra, then you could try to complete them. Fallen banner is going on right now, and at the end of the month we are going to be seeing a mythic hero banner. Not to mention the Bride banner is also going to be happening. So if that's something that you look forward to, then it's worth waiting a few days for. But if you're summoning for the merges, then it is extremely good as you're going to be getting a guaranteed copy after your 40 summons. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to share this video with your friends who are trying to summon on this banner, and I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support. If you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously, and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as the lowest defense unit who gets hit by a chilling seal. So that's it, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.